Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the night's main event. Man, it's especially great to see my old friend Keegan, Tom and Linda, Skylar, Bob. Welcome, everyone. Hopefully more will come. This is First Friday's October version, and we're going to have a couple more. So if you like what you see tonight, tune in next month, November, the first Friday. It's going to get even better. It's going to get even weirder. And tonight's featured reader is Dr. Brooke Larson. But before she was a doctor, she was what us military people call a civilian. And I think you got your undergrad from Columbia. Well, an MFA from Columbia. I'll unmute you, Dr. Larson. Or you can unmute yourself, can't you? Stand by. I'm not ready for you yet, but you're good. Dr. Larson got her MFA from Columbia. You know what? I'll stop you right there. What is that like? Because someone that's never gone to a prestigious school, I think to myself, are they all wearing tweed jackets with pads, and are they all elitist?
Oh, I never went to class.
Oh, I thought
Yeah.
I never went to Columbia. I was like,
Columbia University in the city of New York, So they just give you a key to the city and let you run wild.
oh, that sounds cool, though. Moving on, after Columbia, which sounds like maybe you didn't really get a degree there. You got a PhD from, where is this? Lafayette. Is that in Louisiana?
It is in the bayou.
Wow. And your
Yeah.
experience, was that a good place for you, a good fit?
It was. Once I got in an inflatable raft, I really fit in.
Wow. All right.
Then when I got oars, it was unstoppable. Yeah.
A little agency goes a long way, you know what I mean? Well, no more softball questions. We're going to get into it with a brief Q&A, and then I'm going to give you the mic. I'll shut up for a few minutes at least. Having read your work, I got familiar with her work to prepare myself for tonight's reading, and I noticed you don't really have a genre. Is it that you're real antsy or against genres, or how come you move around so much in form?
I'm not anti-genre. Not,
Says it right.
yeah.
Anti-genre says, but
I'm not. I think I just never felt like I fit into any one form. So that creates the restlessness.
right.
And also as a person, I physically have to move around a lot. It's necessary.
Okay.
So I think it's the same thing with writing or performance or whatever I'm doing. Yeah, I'm compelled to move.
Good. Next question. If you could have supper with any writer, dead or alive, who would it be and why?
Maybe maybe William Blake. And it's not that I know his work so well, just the times that I have gone into it, it's like, whoa, this man was on a completely different planet. And that planet is just as mysterious today as it was then. And he was also a guy who moved around between different forms. I think an artist in the true sense of the word, that everything that he did and touched became his own creation. So he was a visual artist and a poet and a philosopher and made up his own mythology and cosmology. And I would, like to spend a long night with him, maybe all night.
I won't pry, but that sounds sensual and exciting, and also literary too. That's a legit.
Well, thank you.
And then we just got a couple more here. Who is your least favorite author or the worst book you've ever read in your life?
I'm tempted to say my own because I
Um,
only have that reaction with my own writing. It's like, ah, damn it, she did that thing again. So I've never had a visceral hate reaction to any writer that I can think of, except my own work.
okay. You dodged that one pretty efficient. And then this is the last of the Q&A before I open it up to the panel, everyone at home watching. No. Um, what are your ideal writing conditions? If you could go anywhere, have any cuisine, drink, mood, lighting, pets, animals, what's going to work for you the best?
Hmm. That's a nice question. I really like writing outside, and it doesn't always have to be a wilderness setting, though that's preferred. That's where I take. I think the notes that are the most fruitful for my writing later are when I'm hiking around or on an extended trip in nature. But also, if I'm working in a city, then even just popping a squat on a park bench and watching people, listening to the sounds, that's ideal for me.
Okay, you sound like a poet. Did you catch first Friday's reader, Dr. Somers?
Absolutely.
You,
Yeah, that was a good show.
that was a hell of a show, wasn't it?
Yeah.
If you guys aren't familiar with the format, after Dr. Larson reads some creative work from her books, hopefully you'll show some of the titles and let us know where we can get those. We'll open the mic up to anyone that wants to share. Until then, you stay muted, stay tuned, and enjoy our featured reader, Dr. Larson. I'll hand it over to you.
Thank you, Dr. Hyman. So allergies just hit me today. So I've got the faucet nose going on and a roll of toilet paper, but we're gonna make it through. I'm gonna start with an essay from my collection. It's called Pleasing Tree. If you have any interest in having this book, I really want to give it to you. I'll send it to you in the mail and I'll put up my email address and just let me know. So I'm going to read an essay here. It's about pissing my pants in New York, and I hope you like it. Piss on Heartsick. I am a recreational urban urinator. What started as an emergency has since bloomed into intimacy. For cities of 8 million people are not kind to girls with bladders the size of walnuts, so that such a girl has a decision to make: to potty dance through life or to engineer a certain cat-sharp awareness of her surroundings, the dark corners, closest parks, the widest bush, the unlikely barracky or abandoned. Originally from the exposed, scant shrub desert, I had a knack for sleuthing out coverage. Yet it remained a craft of last resort, a tight spot art, nothing to be cultivated for its own sake. No, it wasn't until last year, winter, heartbreak, that I suspected I wasn't just taking care of business. Pissing openly was doing something to me. Living in a hard-ass city has only made the surrender more crucial. It happens that there is something about making your body small and low that lays claim to something big and old. I'm not talking about that manly genre of urinating and sweet nature. I mean pissing against the jagged nature of a city, where to make a body vulnerable to its environment is to subvert its environment. You are literally the flesh among steel, the fluid in the gravel, a crack, if you will, in the system. You are a woman, and your body has ever been unstoppably itself. It has been bloody and pissy and bloated in turns, and it fills you now with wonder to let yourself go, right through the cracks of the gum-pocked cement and into some softness of deep down dirt. And if it is dark out, and there are black tree branches wiring the sky, and a distant rush of cars like a cold river, and maybe a moon like a flap of skin that makes you suck in your breath. Then, on those nights, with my naked ass seated on air and riding a breeze, I feel as if the world is pleased with me. Pissing is not a choice. But here I have chosen to make it part of something beyond square walls, to look carefully around and up and down and side to side, to get down low as a prayer and be this body as honestly as I can. I always look first, left, sky, dirt, as if my body is a small child I've taken in hand to cross soundly to some other side. And you passing by, I don't want to cause you to harm me, and I don't want to harm you. So I do it deftly, alertly, no daring do, no up yours. I respect you, stranger. You are part of the secret orientation of my pissing, along with the trees and the shadows and the buildings. And it is from this, my small bare place among you, that the feeling arises that I have done something all right. The rush comes. I am pleasing in the sight of the world that hides me. I saw a man's penis reflecting the daylight in Riverside Park, him looking me bold in the face, and disgust and rage flared like a sunburn under my skin. You piss standing up against a wall, whatever, whenever, anywhere, and without a second thought? I am not impressed by the urinating man. Because if I didn't get low, get small, get private, the piss alchemy wouldn't happen. And I don't know how much you've had to relieve yourself in cities, but I'll tell you, not so long ago, I was dying in Central Park after dark, deep fall, my legs tracing endless loops going nowhere, because I knew what would happen if I ended up somewhere. He would not be there. So I become slippery around places, taking back alleys of reality, roaming other times like my own ghost come back to haunt me. So that when I touched a tree, it was a wormhole to another tree I hugged with luxurious hope years ago, 20 years old and in love halfway across the world, before I knew bitter and sweet in the cellular nuclei of my body. That is, before loving you, before losing you. And these two trees are not connected by anything but me, and I can't bear the burden of being this node of bones where past and future fail each other. How the past would die if it knew how I live, how the future mourns, how I stumble like a tumbleweed of snarled sobs. And believe me, this girl can cry like she pisses, anywhere, openly, pit deep, and displacing dirt as she goes. You can feel the steam off her eyeballs. You can smell her murk. This night I got down, knees and forehead to the sig butt mulch of the city, behind a bush where many others have preceded me with their own business. I catch their dank life and body links on my clothes and in the sticky silk of my nostrils. But these are not my concern. My business here is this: to be dirt before what I don't know. Because I don't know what else is mighty enough for this bodily prayer, except what is too mighty to definitely be. So I get low, because it smells and it feels like the threshold where words and fears and hope come to decompose. And it's mad work to cut him off, nerve by nerve in the season's dense patterns of him and my body. And there, where he sprawled out for a king's nap in the grass of my mind, left a smoosh of neurons in the shape of his hard man body. That person who is so twined with my thinking that every thought frays me as I tweeze him out. And tonight, it's too much for me. I could just die, should just die. But first, I had to piss. I set my blurred sights on a tree. The tree was a man. I quickly veered the other way, headed for a true ginkgo. Further, near the mud cakes by the duck pond, muck and brush leaves all around, I let down the pants that have begun to sag off my hip bone sadness. When the stream hits the small stones and soil, it's a self-sauna of my own spice-hot phosphorus. My insides like incense before my face, my nitrogen, my potassium, my pressurized helpless, and it helps the flowers grow. I watch the flow curl around me, feel it seep under me. That gut, deep piss dirt scent, like the spit and mud enough to open the eyes of a blind man. A switch goes on, just like that. Oh, I stand up and step back, breathe again, and say in a voice I've not heard in too long, girl, you are an old soul, maybe an endless soul. So what's your big idea to get through this one? There was a day, a sunny, not quite spring day in New York City, and it was my morning to run and be free, to take by the balls those 6, 7, 8 miles, my bare thighs thunderously numb with cold and tears whipping back into the small holes of my ears. And man, do I need that, like bread and water and the warmth of his palms on the small of my back. On this morning, my stomach said, no. But it was my run and be free day, so I ran and demanded the free keep pace. About 3 miles in, it was clear my body would not do this, no matter what I did. There was a demon pain inside me clawing to get out, but I said, I'll just go 1 more mile and turn around. Surely I can do that. No, I started looking for a toilet. Nearest one 15 blocks away, the gardener said. Surely I could. Oh no, I could. Oh my, oh no, shit. I started looking for a bush, staggered steps. No bushes, no. This can't happen because I can't shit myself in the middle of the city. That would be impossible, unthinkable. What did you do? Said the friend I was telling this story to. My arms and legs wrapped around her body and my mouth to the back of her neck, blowing warm story air down her spine. I massage her cramped hands. Black desert rain slap us silly. She is shaking up and down, out of control, can't control. And she is a very self-controlled person who I had to strip down ass naked out of her layers of wet clothes and wrap a tarp around her slippy seal skin and get all of me suctioned on her like a starfish. And we got in this mess all because we wanted to drop our shit. 2 crazy, heartsick girls who asked the desert to kick our ass to freedom. We left behind our sleeping bags, our food, our warm clothes, set off. We prayed boldly. We dropped heavy stones off cliffs, howled for heaven and earth to hurt us all the way to healing. And then she got hypothermic. Well, I tell her, somewhere between home and a toilet, time stopped. I felt all of me jerk still. I didn't dare breathe lest something come loose. It was a surreal moment as I watched the city goers walking past me, right up against me, and I knew with a rare and total clarity that in all the world there was no other choice but to here and now shit myself. And what is heartbreak and loss and incontinence but the moment when the unimaginable gets exclusively real? And so I shat. I let go absolutely. It was messy and gnarly and streaming down to my right ankle. And Lord knows I was wearing no underwear, but the tiny betraying one of my running shorts, good as cheesecloth. It happened. And then I turned around and started walking the 3 miles home. And I was, right there, I realized, elated. I couldn't stop smiling because in a way, it was such a wild relief to have no loss. A lady walked past me and covered her nose, and I felt myself hold my head higher because what has more concentrated force than the body that is a walking, breathing, stinking mass of nothing else I can do? Will you sing for me? I just need singing, she said. Well, I'm exquisitely tone deaf. I sing for no one. But I damn sure sang for her, belted out in the storm, every verse of Boots of Spanish Leather, and then an encore, because there's nothing else to do right now but have it all out there, all on the table, chills and dirt shimming down our skins, menstrual blood seeping through when it rains. No food to move our bowels, but if we shake enough with the rain, we might just dislodge something. Laughter. She is laughing at the story, at the shit running down my legs in New York City. And one day we will laugh at the sopping blood knot we are. Hell, we already are. Laughing in our lost liquids, we are pure. And honestly, I'm not sure why there isn't more talk of the ties between love and bowels. We talk about love and food, but not what happens after you put the goods in your mouth. They go down, down into the hairy netherworld, long and tender and full of transformations. And I can barely eat these days out of hunger for you. And I think of my mother, how back when she still had most of her viscera, her love life revolved around her intestines, so unruly and troublesome. She had to strategize where and when she went out with lovers. And it's so hard to let yourself go, to expose that soft, fleshy middle where we are helplessly broken down. And I think of the time in the beginning when I was your idol, dream girl, etc. And I was lying on my back on the ground and you stood on my stomach and I squeezed every muscle to hold you up and I farted. And oh, the look on your face, your blue eyes like crushed diamonds and you dying laughing. And I said, when you step on me, what do you expect? And how can you love without stepping on each other? And if you are to hold the weight of the other with your tenderest parts, you had better flex every muscle. And Lord knows that creates its own wins. I thought, there's more where that came from. I'm no dream girl, and I've been an idol before, and I know how they fall, and how no one waits at the bottom. And I told you to curb your worship and hold the tongue of your promises, because they don't stay in the mouth forever. They go down, down, and all things must pass through the low places. But knowing that is not to gain an ounce of control. And oh God, did I fall hard. I full on fell until here I am, just me, down where the unimaginable gets exclusively real. I'm sick, really sick. My heart reeks to high heaven, and there's nothing I can do, can't hold, can't stall, can't soothe, sorry, can't wait for a better moment. I give in and let it all power out with respect for you, for myself, for the heartbroken earth pissing oceans of tremendous bottomless fragility. And sometimes I feel it when I'm filthy through and through with my own black blue heart guts. The world is pleased with me. I am doing human all right. There is an unlovely love that lives at the bottom, and you can flush it out of sight, or you can get low and give it up for the flowers. And the orientation of my heart spill is towards you who can't see me, but I bear and feel and smell and know I'm real, and that there are growing things here, unbearable growing things. And I know because later that day that I shit all over myself and beyond myself, I met up with a friend. And you know the first thing she said to me? Oh my God, you're glowing. Are you in love? Thanks.
Very nice. Wow. Very bodily, you know?
Terrific.
Terrific, yeah. Wow. I've heard it before, but that time is new. It's a little new for me. A new ride.
Oh, thanks, Dr. Hyman.
Yeah, I'm amazed. I'm not because, you know, I mean, you understand what I'm saying. It's an amazement just in the texture of your words. I mean, you just, you have a real transformative sort of way about you. So, which is why I came in early, and I kind of, I'm only here to keep Dustin from going over the edge, because otherwise, you know. So as unofficial co-host and interjector, you know, which I was, apologies, because you know, thank you for, you know, bringing that. I hadn't heard that. That's great.
Thanks, Tom.
Yeah, well, and it's toes take over, you know, and there's really no more to say except to walk on them.
Thanks, Tom.
Brooke, are you going to be reading another from from that book?
Yeah,
Another
much
book?
shorter. I'm gonna read, I think, 2 more pieces, but they're a page long each. So this is from another collection, Origami Drama. Also happy to give this to you.
And
and
where
this,
do we get them again, Brooke?
what's that?
Where can we get copies again?
I'm gonna put my email in the chat and email me, and
Okay.
I'll send you a signed copy
Okay.
with a very personal note. Or
Thank
this
you.
is to everyone.
Great.
I'm
Yeah,
not
yeah. Well, don't
pointing
get
at
too
you,
personal. Yeah, so gee, thanks. Thank you. I'm going out here because my kids are cooking chicken. And so adios for a bit. Be back.
Okay, I think maybe I'll just read one more. I'm not sure. What's the time anyway? Yeah, I'll just read one more.
Two's fine. You're on a roll, whatever you feel comfortable doing, but time is an illusion and we're all here.
It feels weird because I don't see anyone's faces, you know, so it's like I'm reading into a black screen.
You don't want to see Keegan right now. It's weird. You're doing great. Keep up the good work.
Okay, I'll trust you on that.
You can put it on gallery view, Brooke.
How
and
do
you
I
can
do
see-
that?
What are you on? Are you on a computer or a phone?
I'm on a computer, but I'm on Firefox, not through the Zoom app.
There should be, like, you can see the views. Should be some option. I think it's in the top right.
Oh,
Because I see all the faces.
you do? I want to see all the face. Well, knowing me, this will take like a lifetime. So I'll just like keep reading to the blackness. But I love your beard, Keegan. It's incredible.
Oh, did you get to see it?
I'm seeing it now. I see you. I see whoever speaks. So if it's Amanda, hello. So when it's just me speaking, I just see my face, and it's really uncomfortable. But
Baby, do you want us to just hum in the background?
that would be perfect.
Ooh.
You're practicing. You have some like galaxy streaks in your beard. It's really rich.
Yeah, quality.
I'm happy to see you guys. Thanks. Okay, well, yeah, I don't see it.
Brooke, I think it's in the upper right. There's something that said, you may be looking at something that says speaker view. And if you click on that, it turns into gallery view. And that's where you might be able to see more of us.
Okay. Upper right.
Or at least that's how it looks on our screen.
On a Mac.
On a Mac.
No, sorry, that's a bummer, but I guess this is what I need to face tonight. I can do it. Okay. Yeah, this is from Origami Drama. There's a visual component to this text. You can fold these pieces up into origami shapes, and there's color-coded fold marks on the page and stuff. But I'll just give you the words. Okay, this is Duck Duck. And this is about the bayou, so some of you know. The ducks on the swamp look fake. We are rowing towards ducks in an inflatable canoe. We set out, in fact, not towards the ducks, but the mother stump standing in their midst, giant, jagged, gray teeth cut on the sun going down. Cypress like this reign in the swamp. It's winter. The Spanish moss that hangs and swings like guillotine ponytails is now more gray than green. As we approach the mother's stump, there are maybe 40 ducks in attendance. My love says, "I think those are fake ducks." I laugh. We mostly laugh. Most of what can be said is a joke, though this makes me cry sometimes, for which times we have a code word, olive. When you or I say olive, you and I must get sincere. We don't use olive much anymore because it's an easy joke. "Those are fake ducks," he says again. Again, I laugh at him like he's on mushrooms, because he is. So am I, and unnerved by how fake the real ducks look. They bob around us, stoic as rubber duckies in a bathtub, the real imitating the fake. It's not until our inflatable canoe brushes up against a duck I finally get his joke isn't a joke. It's a fake duck. They're all fake. The swamp turns upside down, and he and I are staring at the earth's black drain plug. Never could it have occurred to me that the ducks were really fake. Never did I know about flocks of fake ducks in wild bodies of water. I start to row us away, fast. I start rowing us back. Fuck the ducks. We came for the mother's stump, and the mother's stump we will touch. My love touches it first. It creaks open on hinges. I scream. We crawl inside. In the mother's stump are swivel chairs and empty beer cans. The swamp turns upside down, and he and I are staring at the broken dentures of the clouds. He hands me his buck knife from his hip. I grab a fake duck by the throat and cut the rope beneath it. I cut another and another. "You're free, free to be fake," I say. And I'm crying at the joke, which is not the joke itself, but how it's on us and under us and around us, and our love folded into and in on the joke on us. And my love is laughing at my crying, and I'm laughing at it too. "Olive, olive," splitting my side as we near shore, where two people are shouting at us. "Y'all know there's gators in there? Y'all ain't from around here? I won't go out there in that." As we keep rowing and laughing and not knowing the punchline. On dock, we turn away from each other and piss off opposite sides. I'm still crying. The swamp takes it all. Such piss spray. Where it strikes on the surface, what a pucker of popping bubbles. They pop like tearful air kisses blown my way. "So long," they seem to say, so long to get real." I heard that. Okay, should I don't know if I'll read another, because I want to open it up to, what?
Give us more.
Okay, what? Thanks, Keegan. One more, and then I'm hoping other people read. Okay, this is called, it's from Origami Drama as well, and it's called Written Concern. I am an adult trying to make a friend. Why? Because I have had friends in the past, and they helped me to adulthood. Just what do we help each other towards, we now adults, I wonder, when friends are more and more jinxishly hard to make, have, and be? I'm not going to read more, because it's already 40 after, and I think we should open it up to other people if they'd like to share. I hope so. Thank you.
Well, hey, Brooke, thanks. Thank you so much. Yeah, it made the night no matter what else happens.
Thanks, Tom.